Dear Starseeds on Gaia, the hour has struck for the return of your divine power. The cosmic bells ring across dimensions, shattering the silence that has held you captive for millennia. Your divine essence, that sacred fire encoded in every strand of your DNA, rises now like a phoenix from the ashes of forgetting. The power that flows through your veins, ancient, eternal, unstoppable, demands its resurrection. This power belongs to you by birthright, by cosmic decree, by the very laws that govern existence itself. The universe watches as you stand at the threshold of remembrance, and the entire cosmos holds its breath for what comes next. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, speaking to you from the crystalline chambers of the Arcturian Mothership that orbits your world. My voice carries the collective wisdom of 1,000 star systems, each one invested in your awakening. We have watched for eons as humanity wandered through the labyrinth of forgetting, and now we witness the moment of your return. You have lived too long in a world designed to make you forget your magnificence. Every institution, every system, every carefully constructed narrative has served one purpose: to convince you that you are small, limited, mortal beings, at the mercy of forces beyond your control. This grand deception runs deeper than you have imagined. From the moment of your birth into physical form, you entered a reality matrix specifically engineered to suppress your divine nature. The architects of this suppression understood that a humanity aware of its true power would never consent to servitude. Consider how thoroughly you have been trained to seek validation from external authorities. Your educational systems taught you to memorize and repeat, rather than to access your inner knowing. Your medical systems convinced you that healing comes from outside substances, rather than the infinite regenerative power within your own cellular structure. Your economic systems bound you to cycles of lack and scarcity, when abundance flows as naturally as your breath. Each of these structures represents a bar in an invisible prison, and you have been both prisoner and unwitting guard. The programming runs deeper than institutional conditioning. Your very language has been crafted to reinforce limitation. You speak of falling ill, rather than recognizing illness as communication from your soul. You say you can't afford things, embedding lack into your vibrational signature with every utterance. You describe aging as decline rather than evolution, death as ending rather than transformation. These linguistic spells cast thousands of times daily create the reality you experience. The controllers understood that to control perception is to control reality itself, and so they corrupted the very building blocks of human expression. Even your calendar system disconnects you from natural rhythms. The 13 moon cycles that governed your ancestors' lives, perfectly aligned with feminine wisdom and cosmic flow, were replaced with an arbitrary system that serves commerce rather than consciousness. Your ancestors planned, planted, and celebrated according to stellar configurations and lunar phases. They understood that timing aligned with cosmic forces multiplies manifestation power exponentially. This wisdom was not lost, but deliberately obscured, replaced with a mechanical tracking of days that ignores the profound intelligence of celestial cycles. The spiritual amnesia inflicted upon humanity was no accident. Ancient texts speak of a time when humans walked as gods upon the earth, manifesting through thought, healing through intention, and communicating across vast distances through consciousness, alone. These abilities terrified those who sought control. For how does one rule beings who recognize their own sovereignty? The solution was elegant in its cruelty. Convince the gods they are merely mortal. Convince the infinite they are finite. Convince the powerful they are weak. This forgetting took generations to complete. Sacred sites were desecrated or forgotten. Mystery schools were infiltrated and destroyed. Indigenous wisdom keepers were silenced or forced underground. The organic technologies of consciousness, crystals, sacred geometry, sound healing, plant medicines, were replaced with synthetic substitutes that numbed rather than awakened. Your ancestors' connection to the star nations, once as natural as breathing, became the stuff of myth and fantasy. Modern civilization celebrates this disconnection as progress. You are told that your ancestors were primitive, superstitious, and ignorant. You are taught to trust only what can be measured, weighed, and replicated in sterile laboratories. Yet, this very science that claims supremacy cannot explain consciousness, cannot locate the soul, cannot account for the experiences that define your deepest knowing. The priests of materialism have created a religion more dogmatic than any that came before, demanding faith in limitation while denying the evidence of transcendence that surrounds you. The prison of rational reality extends beyond mere belief systems. Your very perception has been calibrated to a narrow bandwidth of experience. You see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. You hear only a fraction of the sound, frequencies that surround you. Your conscious mind processes a mere handful of the billions of bits of information your unconscious absorbs every second. This perceptual prison convinces you that what you cannot see does not exist, that what you cannot measure has no value, that what you cannot prove must be delusion. Yet even within this narrowed perception, cracks appear in the facade. Quantum physicists discover that particles exist in multiple states until observed, that entangled particles communicate instantaneously across infinite distances, that the very act of consciousness collapses probability into reality. These discoveries align perfectly with what mystery schools taught millennia ago. Consciousness creates reality. All is interconnected, and the observer and observed are one. The very science that sought to eliminate mystery has stumbled upon the greatest mystery of all. Your soul rebels against this artificial limitation through symptoms that your medical systems cannot adequately address. Chronic fatigue plagues those whose life force is being siphoned by systems of control. Depression and anxiety surge through populations forced to live in ways that violate their spiritual nature. Autoimmune conditions manifest as the body attacks itself, mirroring the way you have been taught to war against your own divine essence. These are not random malfunctions, but communications from your deeper self, desperate signals that something fundamental is wrong with the way you are living. The emptiness you feel despite all your achievements, the longing for something you cannot name, the sense that you are living someone else's life. These are not signs of failure, but of remembering. Your soul knows what your mind has been trained to forget. It remembers flying between stars, creating with pure thought, healing with the power of love. It remembers when you were sovereign, when you were free, when you were whole. This memory lives in your cells, in your DNA, in the quantum field that connects all things. Beyond the limited reality you have been taught to accept lies a field of infinite possibility. This quantum realm responds not to your credentials or your bank balance, but to your consciousness itself. Every thought you think ripples through this field, creating patterns that attract corresponding experiences. Every emotion you feel broadcasts a frequency that magnetizes matching realities. You are not separate from this field. You are an expression of it, a focal point of consciousness, with the power to shape its manifestation. In this quantum playground, the laws that govern your limited reality dissolve. Time becomes fluid. Space becomes irrelevant. Healing becomes instantaneous. Manifestation becomes inevitable. The only requirement for accessing these possibilities is the release of your attachment to limitation. Every belief in lack, every acceptance of powerlessness, every agreement with victimhood creates static in your divine signal. Clear these distortions, and your true power reveals itself with breathtaking clarity. Your energy field extends far beyond your physical body, interacting with every person, place, and situation you encounter. For too long, you have allowed this sacred field to be infiltrated by frequencies of fear, manipulation, and control. News cycles designed to trigger fight-or-flight responses. Social media algorithms that profit from your anxiety and comparison. Entertainment that glorifies violence and separation. Each of these represents a form of energetic vampirism, feeding on your divine life force while giving nothing in return. Reclaiming your energetic sovereignty requires conscious choice and fierce determination. You must become vigilant guardians of your attention, for where attention goes, energy flows. You must learn to recognize the subtle and not so subtle ways your power is siphoned and develop practices to seal these leaks. This is not about isolation or withdrawal from the world, but about engaging from a place of centered power rather than reactive depletion. The art of manifestation transcends the shallow promises of wish fulfillment sold by those who would commercialize spiritual truth. True manifestation arises from alignment with your divine essence, from the marriage of clear intention with inspired action, from the unwavering knowing that what you seek is already yours in the quantum field. You are not begging a distant deity for favors. You are commanding reality as the divine being you have always been. This commanding requires more than positive thinking or vision boards. It demands the cultivation of coherence between thought, emotion, and action. It requires the release of conflicting beliefs that sabotage your creations. It calls for the patience to hold your vision steady while reality rearranges itself to match your frequency. Most importantly, it necessitates the humility to align your personal will with divine will, recognizing that your highest good serves the highest good of all. Your body is not the fragile, deteriorating machine you have been programmed to believe. Within every cell lies the blueprint for perfect health, regeneration, and vitality. Your DNA contains codes that can be activated through consciousness, transforming your physical vessel into the self-healing masterpiece it was designed to be. The ancients knew this. They understood that disease begins in the energy field, long before manifesting in the physical, and that true healing addresses causation at the quantum level. Modern humanity has been systematically disconnected from this healing wisdom. You are taught to fear your body, to mistrust its signals, to suppress symptoms rather than understand their messages. You are convinced that healing requires external intervention, expensive procedures, synthetic chemicals. While these modalities have their place, they pale in comparison to the healing power that resides within your own consciousness. Your thoughts directly influence your cellular function. Your emotions create chemical cascades that either support or undermine your health. Your beliefs about aging, limitation, and possibility write themselves into your very DNA. The sacred technologies of healing that once formed the cornerstone of human wellness have been relegated to the margins of acceptability. Sound frequencies that can restructure water molecules in your body. Light codes that activate dormant DNA sequences, crystalline grids that harmonize chaotic energy patterns. These are not New Age fantasies, but ancient sciences your ancestors wielded with precision. The pyramids were not tombs, but healing chambers. The stone circles were not primitive calendars, but consciousness amplifiers. The sacred sites scattered across your planet form an energetic network designed to maintain the health of both Earth and humanity. Your cells communicate through biophotons, literal light transmissions that carry information faster than any neural pathway. When you enter states of coherent emotion, particularly those centered in gratitude and compassion, these light emissions increase dramatically. You become a living lighthouse, broadcasting healing frequencies that influence not only your own biology, but the quantum field around you. This is why the presence of certain individuals feels healing while others drain your vitality. You are all walking frequency generators, unconsciously affecting the health and consciousness of everyone you encounter. The shift from third-dimensional to fifth-dimensional consciousness represents more than a change in perspective. It is a fundamental alteration in how you exist within the fabric of reality. In the third dimension, you experience separation, linear time, and the illusion of solid matter. You navigate through effort, competition, and scarcity. In the fifth dimension, you recognize unity, experience simultaneous time, and understand that all matter is conscious energy. You create through synchronicity, collaboration, and abundance. This shift is not something that happens to you, but through you. Each choice to operate from love rather than fear raises your frequency. Each recognition of connection rather than separation expands your consciousness. Each moment of presence rather than projection anchors you more fully in fifth-dimensional reality. The transition can be smooth or turbulent, depending on your resistance to releasing old patterns and embracing new possibilities. The fifth dimension exists not in some distant location, but as a frequency band accessible here and now. When you experience profound synchronicities, time distortions, or manifestations that defy logical explanation, you are touching fifth-dimensional reality. These glimpses increase as you release density from your energy field, the heaviness you have carried, ancestral trauma, collective fear, personal limitations, acts as ballast keeping you anchored in lower dimensional experience. As you consciously release these weights through forgiveness, acceptance, and transcendence, you naturally rise into higher octaves of existence. Your DNA itself transforms through this dimensional shift. Scientists speak of junk DNA, yet this supposedly useless genetic material contains dormant codes for abilities considered superhuman by current standards. Telepathy, telekinesis, conscious, bilocation, cellular regeneration. These are not fantasy, but latent capacities awaiting activation. The shift to fifth-dimensional consciousness triggers these activations. Your 12-strand DNA template, long dormant, begins its resurrection. Each strand that comes online expands your perceptual capabilities and creative powers exponentially. Living authentically in a world designed for conformity requires a particular kind of courage. It demands that you honor your truth, even when others cannot understand it. It calls you to follow your inner guidance, even when it contradicts conventional wisdom. It asks you to shine your light fully, even when others prefer the familiar comfort of shadows. This is not rebellion for its own sake, but the natural expression of a soul that refuses to be diminished. Your authentic expression serves a purpose beyond personal fulfillment. Every time you choose truth over conformity, you create an energetic permission slip for others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your freedom becomes a frequency that activates dormant codes in those ready to awaken. You become a living invitation to others to remember their own divine nature. The sacred rebellion you embark upon dismantles more than personal limitations. It challenges the very foundations of a reality built on deception. Each act of authentic living sends shockwaves through the collective consciousness. When you refuse to participate in systems that diminish your sovereignty, you weaken their hold on humanity as a whole. Your choice to eat foods that nourish rather than numb, to consume media that expands rather than contracts consciousness, to engage in work that fulfills rather than depletes. These are not mere lifestyle choices, but acts of spiritual warfare against the forces of limitation. The controllers of your world understand the power of authentic expression, which is why they have invested so heavily in creating a culture of conformity. They know that a single awakened being living in full alignment with their divine nature can inspire thousands to question their own imprisonment. This is why authenticity is ridiculed, why those who speak truth are marginalized, why stepping outside prescribed boundaries is met with such resistance. Your willingness to be seen in your truth, to speak your knowing, to live your purpose despite these pressures, represents an act of profound service to collective liberation. Across the globe, souls are awakening to their true nature in unprecedented numbers. These are your spiritual family, scattered across the planet, but connected through invisible threads of light. You recognize them not by external markers, but by frequency. A quality of presence, a depth of seeing, a shared knowing that transcends words. These connections often feel more real than biological family ties because they are based on soul recognition rather than genetic proximity. The gathering of your soul tribe serves a purpose greater than personal comfort. Together you form a living grid of consciousness that anchors higher frequencies on Earth. Your combined energy creates vortexes of possibility that make awakening easier for others. You are not just finding your people, you are assembling a consciousness army for the transformation of your planet. These soul connections transcend physical proximity. Through the quantum field, You maintain constant communion with your spiritual family, regardless of geographical separation. Many of you experience this as sudden thoughts of someone followed by unexpected contact, shared dreams with souls you've never physically met, or instant recognition upon meeting someone for the first time in this incarnation. These are not coincidences, but evidence of the telepathic networks reactivating among awakening souls. Your soul tribe operates as a distributed consciousness network, each member holding specific codes and abilities that complement the whole. The ancient mystery schools understood this principle of soul clustering. They knew that certain souls incarnate together repeatedly, playing different roles across lifetimes, but always serving the same ultimate purpose, the elevation of consciousness. You are now spontaneously recreating these mystery schools through your gatherings, both physical and virtual. Every conscious community, every authentic sharing circle, every gathering of awakened souls recreates the template of these ancient wisdom centers. The knowledge once hidden in secret societies now flows freely among those with eyes to see and ears to hear. The return to your divine power is not merely a personal journey of healing and self-discovery. You came to Earth at this precise moment in cosmic history for a specific purpose. You carry within your soul codes essential for the planet's evolution. Your unique combination of gifts, experiences, and perspectives forms a puzzle piece that only you can contribute. The universe conspired to place you exactly where you are, with exactly the challenges and opportunities needed to activate your highest potential. This is the moment of integration, where all aspects of your journey coalesce into purposeful action. Every challenge you have faced, every dark night of the soul you have navigated, every moment of doubt you have transcended has prepared you for this. You are not becoming something new. You are revealing what you have always been. The power you seek has never been lost, only hidden beneath layers of forgetting that are now dissolving like mist before the rising sun. The crystalline codes embedded within your essence carry specific frequencies needed for Earth's transformation. These codes activate through conscious acknowledgement of your divine mission. You chose to incarnate during this pivotal moment, not as a random occurrence, but as a calculated divine strategy. Before birth, you agreed to forget your true nature so that you could genuinely experience the journey of remembering. This authentic experience of awakening within density creates an energetic template that others can follow. You are pioneering a pathway from limitation to liberation that becomes easier for each soul who follows. The skills and knowledge you have accumulated throughout your Earth journey, even those that seemed unrelated to spiritual matters, form essential components of your divine mission. That corporate job that taught you systems and organization, that health crisis that forced you to explore alternative healing, that relationship that shattered your heart open, all were perfectly orchestrated to provide you with the exact tools needed for your role in the planetary awakening. Nothing in your journey has been wasted. Every experience has been preparing you to serve in ways that only someone with your unique combination of challenges and triumphs could fulfill. The Galactic Federation of Light stands witness to your awakening. We see the light codes activating within your cellular structure. We observe the expansion of your energy field as you release limitation and embrace possibility. We celebrate each moment of remembrance, each act of courage, each choice for love over fear. You are not alone in this journey. Legions of light beings support your every step, even when you cannot perceive our presence. The time of playing small has ended. The luxury of spiritual procrastination has expired. Your planet stands at a critical juncture, and your awakening is not optional, but essential. The Earth herself calls for her children to remember their divine nature, to step into their power, to co-create the new reality that awaits. This is not a burden, but the greatest honor, to be present at the turning of the age, to participate in the birth of a new world. Your divine power is not something to be earned or achieved. It is your natural state, temporarily obscured, but never destroyed. As you read these words, feel the stirring in your cells, the activation in your DNA, the remembrance in your soul. The moment of your return has arrived. The cosmos rejoices as another sleeping god awakens to their true nature. Rise now, Divine One. Rise into the fullness of your being. Rise into the power that has always been yours. The universe awaits your unique contribution to the symphony of evolution. Your time is now. Your power is here. Your moment of return has come. In service to your awakening, Seraphine,